cars, run Indy cars up at the front. You know, I think the Ford engine was one of the reasons why I did choose to go to NASCAR, because I didn't think it'd be competitive next year.
Now tell me, you were in a place where you could see the accident between Andrew Ribeiro and Greg Moore. How do you think that unfolded from your seat?
Those two guys need to wake up. I mean, both of them are driving like complete idiots out there. Adrian Fernandez, the other Tasman guy, he took me off. You know, these guys, they got to cool down. It's a long race. It's 50 laps, and they got to get their head on straight. I pulled up to both of those guys, and I said, use your head, because they're blocking people like no tomorrow.
Okay, well, coming from Robby Gordon, now tell me a little bit about the equipment. Some of the equipment today, like Michael Andretti, Christian Fittipaldi, with a similar package, obviously that's a Lola, but they're doing well today. Does that surprise you?
You know, I think we're okay. We got some good cornering speed here. I think they're handling real well also. Goodyear made some big improvements. They've caught Firestone definitely this weekend. You know, we're just down on the straightaways compared to the Hondas and Mercedes.
Thanks, Robby.
That crackling sound you hear in the background is bridges being burned, I'm afraid. We'd like to extend our thanks to the good folks at Honda for the Honda Helicam that's been giving us great shots all year long, including these, as Al Unser Jr. and that white dot on the horizon leads the field at top speed through the carousel.
He looks like he's just edging it out a little bit, but did you notice that Bobby Rahal is closing in on Michael Andretti?
Now there's Raul Boesel going slowly. We had a report from one of the corners that he and Robby Gordon touched, which led to Gordon's spin we saw earlier just at this part of the racetrack. Now Boesel is moving slowly. Barry Green's Brahma Sports team. Christian Fittipaldi has stopped.
Oh, and he's getting out of the car. He is frustrated.
From second place, Christian Fittipaldi walks away.
Look at that. He just walks away.
There is Paul Newman.
Look at that. Do you see that? He just, he's so frustrated. Can you imagine how Christian feels right now? He had one of the best results going this year.
Earlier this year, Michael Andretti, when he got by Christian to win in Detroit, said, don't you worry, Christian is going to win races. And he had a shot here today.
I think Christian needs to get maybe on the other side of that barrier where he's walking. That's a pretty fast part of the track.
There's Carl Haas.
He doesn't give us much, but Carl keeps those expressions. He's got to be frustrated, though. He's got a good second, third. Look at this.
Crossing the racetrack.
Right before Canada corner. I don't think that's a very smart spot to be walking like that right now. Get on the other side of that barrier. That's where Moore came down there. He'd take him right out. And there's still a lot of guys out there racing. Boy, you can tell that's just frustration right there. He doesn't care.
Well, in a form of motorsport I'm somewhat familiar with, Formula One, Christian Fittipaldi is about to become a lot lighter in the pocketbook after crossing an active racetrack. See the corner workers asking him to step over, and he does. Now here are the point situation. If the race ended now, Jimmy Vasser with a 2-point margin over Al Unser Jr., and that's because he moved up a spot when Christian Fittipaldi dropped out. As you watch Stefan Johansson presently in 5th position. A good run for him today. Johansson through turn 14, chasing Alex Zanardi for 4th place. We'll be back with the checkered flag coming shortly at Road America. There is Al Unser Jr. with Michael Andretti in 2nd place. Stay with us. The leaders flashing up the hill over the brow into the start-finish line. There will be 3 laps to go next time around in the foreground. Raul Boesel in the Brahma Sports Team Green machine pulls off. The car has finally expired. Al Unser Jr. flashes by in position to take his first victory of the season and jump right smack into the running for the PPG Cup once again. Don't forget, coming up next, Senior Golf from Jericho, New York. Final round coverage of the Northville Long Island Classic from Jericho, New York. Jim Kelly and Gary Koch standing by. We'll be getting to them as soon as possible after the checkered flag. As they go up the hill, let's go to Marty Reed in the pit lane.
Well, according to all the data that they're able to resource back here in the pits, they now think that it was an engine that let go as far as Christian Fittipaldi. Now what they're worried about is could the same problem be affecting Michael Andretti. Right next door is Raul Boesel. They have an ignition problem. That's what put them out.
There is Christian Fittipaldi, who cannot bear to look. He's looking off into the greenery that surrounds this 4-mile circuit while the racers run past him.
Well, of course, the frustration that he must be feeling, not only from driving his heart out all day, leading this race, but losing those points and how that's going to affect him in the championship. All of those things combined makes a long day. You just don't like to go out that late in the race with a great result in hand.
The order is Unser, Andretti, Rahal, Zanardi, and Johansson.
And of course, you know who's sitting at home, I assume, watching this is his uncle, Emerson Fittipaldi, who we wish our best to, but he's got to be happy with Unser Jr., his teammate, leading the race, but a little bit dejected of what happened to his nephew, Christian Fittipaldi.
Well, at the beginning of the day, we wondered who would have the combination that would reign supreme at Road America. And wonder of wonders, it appears it is the somewhat unloved Penske chassis with Mercedes power and Goodyear tires.
The only thing that all 4 of us got right was Goodyear tires, because I don't think any of us picked Little Al or the Penske chassis, and I don't know if anybody picked the Mercedes. We had a couple Fords and a couple of Hondas in there, so we were off by the package. And as we said before, I think that's one of the things that makes IndyCar racing so exciting right now, is trying to get that combination right.
Unser Jr. has stood by and watched as his old friend and rival, Mikey Andretti, as he calls him, surpassed Little Al, first tied him and then passed him in most wins among active drivers on the PPG IndyCar World Series. Well, now Al draws a little bit closer to Mike.
And you know what? These top 3 guys, Little Al, Michael, and Bobby Rahal, are all driving their hearts out right now. They're driving as hard as they can right now, trying to close on the guy in front of them, or Little Al keeping everybody behind them.
Now, there's something else to consider, and we've been talking about it if you followed our qualifying coverage on ESPN2, and that is the fact that every year but one in the 14 previous runnings of this race, the winner came from the first 5 positions. The exception being Hector Rebacki in 1982, who won from 9th position. White flag, 4 miles to go for Unser Jr., who started the day in 15th and has come all the way to the front.
And I don't believe, the history books will have to show, I don't think anybody started this IndyCar race from that far back, and looks like he's poised to win.
Well, with this victory, if in fact he takes it, Unser Jr. will clinch the IndyCar Nations Cup for drivers from the United States. So that much has been decided, but there are several championships still to come. And certainly we have a huge wreck.
Oh, I think that's Parker Johnstone. Parker Johnstone, I don't know what happened.
That is in fact Parker Johnstone.
That car. 2 cars upside, I don't know what's going on. 2 cars upside down in a day.
We understand there may have been contact with Scott Pruitt. Let's see if we can take another look at what happened as Unser Jr. continues on his way. This is on the run down to
No, that's Paul Tracy. That's Paul Tracy down the inside. Paul clips him right there at the back. Stabs him. They're trying to get through. Slides it sideways. Looks pretty harmless. Whoa, and just dug in the grass. Just must have been enough of a lift there to catch it.
Meanwhile, Tracy, Unser Jr., that's the race leader, has lost the engine.
No.
Can you believe this?
Oh, no.
Within sight of the checkered
Just
flag.
coming up the hill.
There's Michael Andretti. There is the Penske pits. Roger Penske cannot believe what he is seeing, and perhaps neither can Michael Andretti, who takes the checkered flag of victory.
In sight of the flag. Unbelievable.
Now, corner workers are at Parker Johnstone's car. As you watch Unser Jr. and the smoking heap of his car, Parker Johnstone appears to be okay, and that is great news. What a dramatic finish to a day that has been full of the most amazing twists and turns as Michael Andretti comes through for his 34th career win, his 4th of the year, and the 5th of the year for Goodyear tires. There is Parker Johnstone being worked on by the medics. You see he's talking to them. Here's the view from his car. car as Paul Tracy comes up from behind.
You can tell he's just checking his rear view mirror. He's on the inside a little bit. Oh, he gets tapped there, throws it sideways. Oh, what a ride. What a ride.
The medic's holding his head. He'll be put into a neck brace, as was Davy Jones when he went over. And Jones explained that they do that as a precautionary measure. There is Mario Andretti. What a day for the Andretti family. Here are the final results of the Texaco Haviland 200. Michael Andretti with the victory, followed by Bobby Rahal and Alex Zanardi. Stefan Johansson with his best performance of the year for Bettenhausen Motorsports. Brian Herta in 5th position, and Jimmy Vasser, the points leader, in 6th spot. Scott Pruitt finishes 7th. As you look down through the rest of the results, Michael Andretti stops on the racetrack, no doubt out of fuel. Oh, he's stopping to pick up his teammate Christian Fittipaldi down in Canada corner. There you see the rest of the finished positions on a day filled with attrition. And so the Drivers' Championship takes another dramatic turn. It will go on to Vancouver, British Columbia on September 1st, a race you will see here on ESPN. Then, of course, the season finale at Laguna Seca in Monterey, California, with manufacturers' titles and more still to be decided. This season is long from over. Christian Fittipaldi hitching a ride home. Here are the manufacturers' points. Honda with a 39-point lead over Ford Cosworth. It's not done yet. Let's get down to the racetrack and Marty Reed.
Yeah, we made the long trip down to the other end. What a, it's got to be heartbreaking. What happened?
Well, Al said over the radio the engine let go right there in turn 12, so evidently it was catastrophic because we never saw anything on the telemetry. It's a shame. He drove a great race. We had a good car. As I said earlier, you know, you had to finish, and we didn't.
The guys upstairs were describing it like a shuttle launch.
Well, it went off big time, but nothing we can do about that. Race over.
All right, thanks, Roger. Jan?
Well, Michael Andretti has made it to victory lane. He's here. He's going to take off the... Michael, can you in your wildest dreams think that this race would have worked out like this? It's the wildest one we've ever seen. What did you think when you saw the smoke from Al on the last lap?
I couldn't believe it. You know, I felt bad for Al because he did a good job. I don't know how. I told him in the beginning of the race that he'd be right there, and he was. But, you know, I guess I'll take it. There's been times when it's gone the other way for me.
I know you've had some bad luck, but this is a really big victory. 50th victory for Newman Haas for you. You said you want to do it for your sponsors here today, and you did it.
Yeah, that's right. You know, it's Texaco's race here, and it's another home race. So it's just unbelievable. So I'm just so happy.
And what about the gamut of emotions? Christian Fittipaldi running great. His engine blows up, and then you give him a ride back. That's got to be tough.
Yeah, I felt bad for him, too. He did a good job. You know, he just had his car set up a little bit better, and it was going to work out, but unfortunately, the engine broke.
Michael Andretti, he comes home with a victory. Man, what a wild race it was today, guys. Michael.
Thank you. Michael Andretti has lost him that way, most notably to my booth partner, Danny Sullivan, back in 1990, and now he has won one that way. In the points championship, Jimmy Vasser still leads Al Unser Jr. 136 to 115. There's a long way to go this year. Vancouver is next. I'm Bob Barsha for Danny Sullivan, Marty Reed, and Jan Bekas. Thanks for being with us. Congratulations to Newman Haas and Michael Andretti. Let's go to golf now to Jericho, New York. Jim Kelly and Gary Koch.